with the trophy directly in sight, these guys are bringing their A game.
Get loud for Mirum, Wixie, and Buyuriru. Qualifying for Major 3 was just the start. With their eyes on the prize, they look to take the trophy home.
Mix and Focus and Upwell in the building, everybody! And this trio's talent has brought them so far already. But it's time to go the distance. Let's see what they've got.
Walking in now, Art School and Sauco, all the way from NA West with a major win. They're looking to bring their domination all the way to the global stage.
Give it up for Yuma, Koyota, and Rise. After dominating Asia this year, now they're ready to prove that they've got what it takes to win it all at the international level.
Ladies and gentlemen, Furious, Vanya, and Pixie with a strong home crowd behind them today. These guys are destined to go all the way. Pressure has never been higher.
So, obviously, I had to come and keep the seat warm for Vanya Boo-Boo because I know there are a lot of fans here in France who cannot wait to meet this team. Here they come. Pixie in front. I know we have some Havoc fans here at Lyon. Pixie, you've been to many of these global lands. How great is it to know you have Havoc fans waiting to see you play?
It's amazing. It's the best ever.
And I know that you're going to put on a show for them. Let's come over here then. Marius, I know that Germany loves you, but now France loves you too. What's that like?
It's amazing, bro. It's amazing. It's such a good feeling.
I can imagine. And Vanya. They call you Vanya Boo-Boo. You spent a lot of time with the fans. What would you like to say to them here in France? Sometimes actions speak louder than words, which is why I'm going to say, let's head to you, Benji.
Et merci Frankie. Je suis avec un nouveau trio. Ils viennent encore des États-Unis. S'il vous plaît, du bruit pour Higgs, Helmzo and Clix. Wow. Clix, how do you feel, man?
I feel great. This is going to be the one. I'm bringing it home.
Hey, il le dit, il vient pour gagner. Il est chaud, l'atmosphère lui fait pas peur. Il vient pour gagner. C'est top 1 pour rien pour Clix. Clix, we know that you land at Supernova, and I heard that Fredoxy have to train you for the spawn. Tell me more about the story.
Yeah, he helped me train. Anybody who lands Supernova, we'll see what happens.
Pour faire simple, en fait, le trio de Clix spawn atterrit dans la ville de Supernova et il y a un ami à lui, Fredoxy, qui l'a pendant des semaines entraîné gentiment parce qu'ils sont amis et c'est grâce en partie à Fredoxy qu'aujourd'hui Clix se sent à l'aise et c'est pour ça qu'il spawn à Supernova. Last question, what's the objective? Only top one or nothing?
It's top 1 or nothing, and I gotta make sure this crowd is repping the set. XF forever.
Du bruit, s'il vous plaît, pour Higgs, Helmzo and Clix!
I had to grab King from the Brazilian region, also representing Argentina here in Lyon today. I've got Ricardo to translate. King, you're so experienced on land that you won in Brazil and then went to North America because you're taking this so seriously. What did you learn from playing in a different region?
So, você foi para os Estados Unidos para melhorar. Por quê? O que você conseguiu tirar dessa viagem?
Ok. A gente foi para a NA porque é uma região muito diferente, muito melhor que a Brasil. Então fomos lá treinar para conseguir dar o máximo.
So they went to North America that has a better quality. So they were able to have better practice and they show up today the best they can do.
And you and Fazer are an experienced duo. Now, of course, you're playing as a trio. Do you think that trios is your favorite way to play this game?
Para mim, eu prefiro pouco mais duo, mas eu acho que o meu melhor nível é no trio.
So they like to play duo better, but they think that their trio is very strong.
I think you're going to be very strong. Thank you so much for talking to me. Obrigada, guys. Leon, please make some noise if you want to meet some more players. Vector Brig!
Luigi. Lo pode. Ah, também. Mas. Mas.
The terrors of EU, Flixie, Veto, and Vico, having established themselves among the best, they only lack one thing, a trophy. This weekend, they look to take it all.
All the way from Asia, Razzle, Raito, and Tay-Tay. It's a long way from home, but the Major 2 champions are here to deliver the performance of a lifetime.
Hold up, it's Pablo Chino. These guys have been on fire this year. With a Major 3 championship under their belt, they're looking to continue that streak.
Show some love for Ping, Malabuka, and Watts. The venue may as well be home base this weekend, and with so much support behind them, these guys are set to head straight to the top.
Give it up for Chad Reason and Mr. Savage. You know them, you love them, and now they're here to impress France this weekend. Let's see them climb to the top of that leaderboard.
Never count out at me, because Snowy, Ryu, and Zod are here, and these guys mean business. Plenty of motivation, but now it's time to showcase that the Middle East is all about.
Domination is key for Peter Von Cold and Ritual. A stellar year for the trio with all eyes on the trophy. They're not playing for second place here. It's all or nothing.
Hold on, it's Kazi, Tika, and Aspect representing the Oshi region this weekend. These guys are here to ensure that they'll be remembered for more than just their potential.
Make some noise as Braids, Vigils, and Aminish. Crushing the competition this year and making it this far comes with expectations. Let's see if they can deliver.
Bienvenue on Swizzy, Queasy, and Merstad! After a year of causing chaos and lobbies on EU, now they're ready to bring the heat to Lyon on the global stage. It's showtime!
Have got players from 2 French teams here in Lyon. First of all, from Havoc, we have Brooks. I can definitely hear the Havoc fans over here. Thank you, Ox. And over here, representing the Gentle Maids, we have Ping and Malabuka. Now, Malabuka, I know it's going to be really hard for you to hear me right now because the fans really want to show how much they love you. But do you have any words for them?
Guys, keep supporting us. Someone for Gentle Maids will win.
Is that what you think? Qu'est-ce que vous pensez? Will they win today? I think the crowd are on your side today. One more question, though. Do you think that Europe can face off and take this trophy home?
Yeah, 100%. Europe is taking this trophy.
Let's head to my favorite European, Benji.
Et je suis avec un nouveau trio et pas n'importe lequel. Regardez, messieurs, dames, avec moi du bruit pour Reason, Champ et Mr. Savage. Savage, hi. I remember that you got your call at the last major, at the last game, at the last moment, and now you're here on the stage. How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm excited to be here. Bonjour, Lyon. How we doing?
Like you can see, you have a huge, massive fan base here in France. Do you have so many words, maybe in French, for your French guys?
I don't know that much French, but bonjour, je m'appelle Martin. Comment tu t'appelles? That's all I know in French, but yeah.
Une légende dans tous les domaines. Avec lui, je sais pas si vous êtes au courant ici, mais il y a quelqu'un dans ce trio qui parle mieux français encore, et même très bien. C'est Chap. Pourquoi? Eh ben parce qu'il vient aussi un peu de France, il est un peu de chez nous, sa maman elle est française, alors il parle français. Chap, est-ce que tu as un mot, ou plusieurs même à dire, un message à transmettre à tous les fans français ici aujourd'hui?
Je sais pas, je suis juste content d'être ici et j'espère de ramener la coupe à la maison.
Hey! Guys, make some noise for Mr. Savage, Chap, and Reason! And now, back to you, Frankie.
Thank you very much, Benji. Now, the Gentlemates fans have been waiting for this moment, I think. Because earlier, on the big screen, when we showed their faces, there was so much noise, so much cheering in this audience. And I know they are just getting warmed up. So please, boys, on your feet. Leon, make some noise for Swizzy, Queasy, and Mustache! Queasy, I have to come to you first. You've had a couple of second places at Global Championships. How do you make it #1 this time?
That's the goal. I mean, second twice, and if I have these fans and the atmosphere, should make it.
And Swizzy, if you hang on a second, what's this? What's this? You went to shake my hand. What's this? Oh, okay, right. Show me how it's done. Hard with a microphone, but I'm managing. Swizzy, it seems like you've already got a good friendship with the Gentlemates.
Yeah.
And what would you like to say to them as they chant your name?
I didn't hear.
Have you any words for the Gentlemates?
Gentle.
Gentlemates! Gentlemates! Do you want to have a go, Mustache?
I feel amazing, but I want to hear one thing. Gentle! No. Gentle!
Nice. Okay, guys, I think I should probably let you get ready to load onto that battle bus because the teams here on our stage in Lyon are locked and loaded and ready to go.
Guys, I have one word for you. Chills. Okay? The way this audience is going crazy for these players, it's got me so excited. Seeing them now take their seats, interact, getting their thoughts. We're getting close to kicking off the competition. I guess the only question I have for you guys is, who do you think will end in the top 5? I'll start with you, Viv. You got you got some insight. You put together a little list for us. Why don't you talk us through it?
Yeah, I guess that's the big question this weekend. Who is going to perform well? I went ahead. I kept the NA bias going. I've got Acorn, I've got Idris, and I've got Pollo winning the whole thing. I mean, I've talked about it before. I think their situation is just too good. Uncontested all 12 games. If that remains, I think it should be easy for them. The only thing that people might be looking at is with Kanata kind of sneaking in there. Top 5. They just seem so confident. Bolt is playing so well. Kanata's been here before. I think they're going to sneak in.
I like your list. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Kanata's trio. I think they have a really good setup. I think Kanata understands what it means to be on this stage on this occasion. I think they could really surprise some people today.
Okay, all right. What about you, Levin? What's your top 5 looking like?
My top 5 is looking pretty similar, I'd say. Have we got any Gentlemates in the building? Any Gentlemates over here? Because I'm with you, Vivid. I think the team that's going to take it. I think it's going to Gentlemates. I think it's going. Let's take a look at my top 5. Right now, I'm rocking with Acorn, Pollo, and the Ages. I think when you look at how things are set up for them, it just looks too good. It looks too good. Pollo has that experience of winning. I think it's going to carry them. The crowd's going to carry them. I also got Marius, Vanya, Pixie in there. They've had such a strong year in EU. They've had adversity that they've overcome. Swizzy, Queasy, Mustache in there. I think the team that maybe might surprise people in my list, I got Deemish, Dom, and Pix. I think these guys have been unbelievable all year over on EU. And they're a very new, inexperienced team. All 3 of these guys are playing at their first ever LAN right now. And so you might be thinking, Levin, how can you be so confident of these guys? Every time we've put them in a situation where we've gone, you're inexperienced, you shouldn't be able to perform, they over-deliver. And I think they'll do the same here this weekend.
Man, the list looks so good, guys. I am so excited, and we hope that if you were not able to join us here in person, that we hope that these roars from this crowd break through, that you can hear it, and in those moments, get excited with us. This is the Global Championship. After 6 games today, another 6 tomorrow, we will have new champions, prize money, a trophy, Acts of Champions 3.0. It is crazy to think we are finally here. Are you guys hoping to see anything out of today? Maybe it's just something out of game 1. Maybe you're hoping to see a trio end well. What are you hoping to see today?
You know, Zeke kind of always asks me this question going into like each one of the majors, right? We spend a lot of time on the desk together, and there's really only one thing that I ever want when we jump into a competition like this. I just want good Fortnite. I want to be entertained, and I cannot lie, I don't think that it's even possible for me to not be entertained.
All I ever want is a good moment. That's all I ever want. I think we're going to see plenty of them across the next 12 games, but today I think we're going to see people really make their mark on this lobby. Who's going to come out there and get that first win, man? I mean, that's always the most exciting part. You know, get the jitters out, get that first win out of the way, and then we start rolling.
Yeah, dude, again, it's like, you know, obviously there is definitely some players who have experience on land, but this crowd just changes everything, and especially, you got to think you have to come in so locked in. If something doesn't go your way and you're eliminated out of spawn, like you said earlier, you just have to sit there and watch everyone else take one step away from you closer to that trophy, right? So how are we going to try and keep mentals under control under these circumstances?
I mean, I've got no idea. How are you going to keep your voices under control, right? The players are kind of walking out. I'm over here trying to scream at them like, yeah, let's go. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't do that so much. I don't know. I mean, I feel like even commenting to your teammates might be a little hard sometimes, right? Especially when we get into the end game, right? The crowd's going to be popping off at every single one of those eliminations. That keeps happening. It's going to be crazy. There's definitely going to be some stage of adaptability for every single one of our players. I mean, we talk about it all the time, Levin, experience, but you can have experience for this.
And look, Vivid, you're someone who's played on amazing stages in your career, right? And I don't think you ever played in an atmosphere like this one, man. It's intense out here.
No, I definitely haven't. I think this one is going to go down in the history books, and we haven't even jumped into game number 1 yet.
Man, you were talking about game number 1. There it is. The battle bus is ready to go. Once again, the pinnacle of Fortnite. The very best trios will now begin the fight to the top. Who will walk away as a global championship trio? Who will take hold of the Acts of Champions 3.0? And who will take home that unbelievable trophy? The competition starts right here, right now. Once again, Leon, let him know, because the competition starts here.
The time has come. The Fortnite Global Championship, Taco, all year long, 33 teams from around the world have been battling from major to major to major just to get the opportunity here. If it's not for the money, if it's not for the fame, it's to call yourself the best in the world.
It's all about that player pride, Jacob. We know just how much is truly contained amongst so many of these trios competing here today, but starting things off hot already. This is an off-spawn fight that we have been expecting to see, and what I really want to know is the shakeup, the outcome. Prodoxy trying to get that first touchdown. Prodoxy gets the first weapon. Sure enough, Haters on the run, still trying to see if he can score away from this, but Pablo, he's been taken down. Chino's fallen too. It's Tayson with the comeback. Prodoxy trying to see if he can lock it down for his team, but Tayson determined to remove Prodoxy's team, and sure enough, disaster strikes. Prodoxy's trio fully down and out for the count, and Tayson has claimed the area.
Already one of our contested fights, 1-0. And do you see this already? They're already not landing at Dystopia City. Everybody was talking about it. They heard the rumors. I kept my ears to the streets all week long to figure out what their game plan was. And scrims leading up to this weren't necessarily netting the best results. And now you see them already over towards Foxy Floodgates. And what this does not only affect Visuals, Braids, and Aminish. This also affects Agers, Acorn, and Pollo. This is the team. They typically trade off Surge into the distance. Now they're already disrupting the the game plan.
They're not the only ones. Veno, Flixie, Vico, they've got Rise in their sights, completely tackling all opposition here at Canyon Crossing. Rise doing what he can to try and stay alive, but entirely too many players to overcome. Veno breaks right through, and that's going to be the first knock. Another elimination tallied up here for Vico, Veno, and Flixie. Coyota, the sole survivor of this exchange.
And Coyota has pulled out a ton of tricks throughout his career, both online and in global events just like this. But early on in game number one, he's already being forced to play out some of those tricks. He has to disengage, stay alive a little bit longer, and try to have a chance back. But you hear the crowd in the background, Swizzy, Queasy, and Murstache, uncontested at the Hive. And some are looking at this could be one of the best POIs. You get the experience for your OXR rank, the medallion, the mythic weapons, a lot of extra heals at the POI itself, and then the elevation. Kelly and Mini Miner were breaking it down so that way they can start to build that base early and accumulate the Storm Surge, so that way later on in the game they could easily start to rotate around.
And most importantly of all, they're uncontested here at Hive. Whether that stays true throughout the course of this weekend, well, that'll be determined by how things develop, but other teams still caught up in a little bit of battle processing at the start of this match. Dystopia City heating up. Epic Whale, Paper, Victor V, they made it very clear they had zero intentions of ever leaving this POI. So Tete, Raito, Razzle, they're going to have to force some sort of a conclusion to this exchange before the third parties start to trickle in.
Yeah, and it's not just Cold and his trio that are over on this side of the map that they have to watch out for. You see a team at the bottom of your mini-map. They can easily try to rotate towards the north, disrupt what's going on. So that's going to be one of the key aspects to a fight like this, but you're already seeing a flank going around from Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. They're ready to take advantage no matter what happens here, no matter who comes out on top. It's going to be them, but Tay-Tay takes a big shot. Epic Whale, the 6-time FNCS champion, dealing a massive amount of damage.
Tay-Tay down to his last little bits of HP, though. Epic Whale, he's going to have to take a moment to also get some relief. Paper, nice supportive fire, and that's a big elimination cleanup onto Tay-Tay. But now, Cold, Ritual, they're starting to close in. They're interested in everything that Raito has to offer, and that's going to be the first knock here for Cold. An immediate elimination, but they've already signaled to Epic Whale, Paper, and Victor V that they've got company. Shields are cracked. Peterbot's not letting anybody escape his sights. Peterbot's aim is just notoriously strong, and he is chasing them full on key with those crash pads. He might be able to make it before they can pull up the double revive. He's challenging the wall. Victor V trying to do what he can to defend. Victor V goes in right on them. Peterbot shut down. Cold, Ritual. They don't need this. They don't want this. They're looking to see if they can still clean up the exchange, but without Peterbot, they're going to be forced to temporarily retreat.
This is almost exactly how it was playing in some of those practice games. But this time, Paper, Epic Whale, and Victor V, they're being the aggressors in some of these situations. They try to disengage. Epic Whale goes down, but Victor V does it again. He was a huge part of them even making it to the global stage, clutch after clutch when his team went down through 4 different drop spots. But now the foot has been turned. Cold and Ritual now need to start to think in and outside of the box. How do we get our IGL back? This is exactly what Victor V did, from the revive to in the box, shutting down Peterbot early.
Just so greedy there by Pete. Victor V doing exactly what he needs to, showcasing what kind of a fragger he is. But Atris, Tayson, in a spot of trouble here. A couple of splashes, gonna ensure that Chicho is still good to go. But Chicho, he needs an opportunity here for his team to provide a little bit more backup. FKS trying to apply pressure from a separate angle. Odd Hero also looking to see if they can get some good aggressive fire through, but things are just picking up at Rangers Ruin, and Tayson going to be able to pull things out to a little bit of a standstill now. Chicho, Atris, Tayson, they might not actually have to force this battle.
Yeah, it seems like they're overall just kind of prioritizing trying to get as much surge as possible. You see their material count relatively low in comparison to after winning that spawn fight. You'd think they'd try to get as much resources as possible, but they know when it comes to Storm Surge, it's essentially currency. It essentially allows you to freely rotate around the map versus other teams that might have to slowly rotate, sit in their surge bases a little bit longer, and figure out what they're going to do. But you see, they figured it out quick for Cold and Ritual. They already get get the reboot back on up, and they're ready to play this one out because they're making way all over to Floxy already.
Still a really big wake-up call, though, for this trio. They have got to be careful. We know just how capable they are at finding those eliminations, and they're not the only ones. Pollo chasing down Razzle, Agers and Acorn right behind them. These guys just staying so tight-knit and rolling through this map. They're barely looted up at this point too, Jacob. It just looks like Surge is all theirs to control.
Yeah, you can kind of see the crash pads, no audio. Razzle didn't even hear or see it coming. And you see there's no knock, straight elimination. So that team, that was the third one from Dystopia City, is down and out. But fight after fight, Arc, I did see it in the feed. He already got one elimination, and I was talking to them a bunch. You know, me being an NA West fan, this was their game plan all along. Contested or not, they're going to push either towards the north or the south. They feel like these teams are easy to fight, and already that confidence continues to build. But Goofy is just trying to slow things down just a little bit, and monster shot to take down the shield of Salco. But Arc and School, the IGL and the Fragger, they're still there. They're holding the walls and making sure nobody can get out of this one.
I mean, being honest, Arc's been running it all week long inside of the scrim lobbies, inside of the practice room. He is more than content to take up a box fight with anybody, and especially if he's got his teammates right next to him. You can see the confidence from the NA West boys, but Oshi still doing their best to hold their own despite being down a player. It doesn't seem to be deterring them. They know they can't really leave this area because they're likely to be third party. They've got to just find a way to delay and hope that they have that little bit of a saving grace from another team entering the exchange.
Uh-oh, I see somebody rotating relatively close. They said, hey, where's our invitation? We want to join this party. We want to figure out how we need to approach this situation, and they're lurking all the way underneath. So it's going to be Salco, School, and Arc, the ones that need to watch out just a little bit. Vortex and Goofy, they're just trying to hold their ground as much as possible. But this is the thing, against a team like Arc, School, and Salco, when you try to hold your ground like this, that's for them a sign of weakness. They're going to continue to put that pressure down. If you look at their material as well, they don't need to disengage out of this fight. They can wait as long as they want, because in essence, they're just denying you time, they're denying you opportunity, and denying the chance to get that reboot back.
But it might not be as prime as what it initially appeared, not with Queasy hovering in the distance. You can see they got a little bit of elevation to work with too. They're bound to take notice of what's going down. Elsewhere across the map though, south of Hive, King, PA Zin, Phaser getting fraggy up against Scarpa and Way. And that's going to be an easy cleanup there for King's team. Feeling really good about that aggressive start.
Now over towards Supernova, and already early on, Taco, you can kind of see where the zone is favoring a little bit towards the north, massively towards the west. So even though Clix, Higgs, and Yamzo haven't had to rotate just yet, they can focus on trying to get as much Storm Surge as possible. They've run into trouble. There's a speed bump in their plan. That's Reet, Cooper, and Curly. And he was very vocal, Reet was. He said, hey, we understand what's going on around the lobby. We've just got to make some things happen. They have 2 early eliminations. That comes with Storm Surge itself, and they're continuing to rotate through so many other teams' loop paths and pathways.
There's also just so much confidence behind Reet, and just teaming with a player that has so much faith in themselves. It's bound to just have that trickle-down effect to his teammates. Not to say that Cooper and Curly aren't clearly thinking of themselves in the same way, but it is a huge positive. But every single time this weekend, Jacob, that we see the Gentlemates, Malibuca, Ping, loading across the screen here, just waiting to find their reposition opportunity. That sole elimination on Malibuca right now, but tailing just behind Yapko, Panzer, and Seti. This could be disastrous if they don't realize what's coming up behind them.
Yeah, there's no audio visuals that far away, so they're just going to try to get some easy surge. You see the launch pads coming out. That's a huge signal. Seti and Panzer have to kind of second guess if they want to go for it, because Yapko's just getting beam targeted out of the sky. Just one shot left is all they need, but he possibly leaves that render distance and figures out a way to survive. Heads up to Seti and to Panzer. They not only building that to try to fire back on him, but that coincidentally enough shielded their teammate Yapko for him to survive.
They fully protected their trio mate. That's just excellent team play, but pulling back, Baka, Pars, Pump, a little bit tangled up right now north of Supernova Academy. Saad, Snowy, and Ryu, though, arguably in a slightly worse position, but the intention is clear. These two teams very likely to clash here, Jacob. They could both definitely utilize Surge. We know just how high those numbers and that threshold can truly climb.
Yeah, and these are two teams. I think they land relatively close to one another, almost contesting each other even. During some of those practice games, they were actually kind of feeling each other out, fighting it out, but neither team kind of won that scenario, no matter if they won the fight or not. So they're trying to take a slower approach, but that means they're rotating parallel with the zone moving towards the north. Stay toward the dead side of it all and just try to make sure they have the best chances to survive what could be a very, very chaotic Storm Surge if it does deactivate. And that's why you're seeing so many teams taking that proactive approach to try to gain some elevation, some high ground, and even if it means fighting it out on the Surge base.
Hero, he knows Pixie is low. Nobody there to provide a little bit of backup either. That could be the first knock here. Hero with the big opening. FKS going to capitalize immediately, throws that body back into their box space control, and now FKS trying to make the approach from above. Just so aggressive though. Hero's gonna be forced to pull back just a little bit. Too much firepower breaking through, but Buyuriru just not healthy enough. Barely enough HP, and he can't escape from FKS. Aetherus even getting a little bit more involved from a distance, and this is part of the problem with trying to take some of these extended box fights. You just got these teams from so far away beaming through your walls.
Yeah, just got yoinked away. But Kanata, Rapid, and Bulge. Kanata's perfection continues in terms of qualifying for every single FNCS Grand Finals in the history of FNCS. But I think they come in with a different energy this time around. If you remember a few years ago, contested against Malibu and Thomas at the Global Championship, he just had a different mindset. He's like, I'm contested, it's not gonna go well. This time, he's confident. He says, hey, we're going to win. And the way they've been playing lately, they have as good a chance as anybody at taking that top spot.
A little bit of a sleeper, maybe under the radar team there, but Vanya, Mariez, Pixie, one of our major champion winners in EU, and now looking to see if they can extend their dominance across the globals stage. Vanya, Mariez, Pixie, just steadily trying to creep up on the opposition, but thinking twice, recognizing a couple of the teams local to their area. They don't want to overextend here, but for Mariez, he's just waiting to see whether or not he can break out these floors from underneath Valor and Mansour, doing a decent job to prevent Vanya, Pixie, and Mariez from an outright collapse.
Yeah, and they're just kind of playing as calculated as they can. We've seen a lot of these fights kind of not necessarily end as smoothly and as cleanly as some of these trios would expect, especially with so many third-party potential there. You know, we saw Aetherus just kind of yoink that elimination away early on in this game, and now Vanya just trying to target it after. He feels like he has him soloed out, drop him down a few layers, but he's able to catch himself and not let this pressure get to him too much. But they're in the zone, Taco, and that kind of depletes any opportunity from heal off later on in the game the longer and longer you stay in this situation. But even if they win this here, they have to be careful. One team in front of them out of zone. You saw Chaff, you saw Reason, Mr. Savage. They're towards the north of them, so this is not going to be as dead side or rotate as they think it will.
But the main thing that I'm noticing, Jacob, is that Vanya, Mariez, they're not carrying any white heals. So unless Pixie actually has something to work with, yeah, these guys are going to just have to get out of this position. They can't afford to keep tanking these early storm ticks. It's just not worth it. But on their way out, Valor and Mansour definitely not going to make it easy. Cole, Ritual, Peterbot, they might have just found Flixie and Venno with Vico, but for right now, Rangers Ruin, what seems like it might have been heating up, these guys are actually looking to kind of slow it down.
Yeah, and for, you know, Ritual and his trio, they just kind of have scraps. They got sticks and stones. And look at this on the other side. Multiple minis, big pots, full health, almost max mats. And even though they don't necessarily have that information on one another, that is a great decision for them to kind of go their separate ways, because I would almost give that one up to Venno and his trio if that did fight it out. Continuing looking around, Cammy, how the eye drop all the way from the Shining Span Bridge. And honestly, even though they're on different teams, Seti, Cammy, I don't know if it would have been the same global championship without him, but Storm Surge finally showing its face. 602 damage above the threshold. As much as I want to feel confident, we know that can change in the blink of an eye.
Oh, easily, but Acorn and Agers, they might just be the ones to actually intervene here. They seemingly have favorable positioning, but Cammy
A little bit of pressure applied with the approach now. Malibuca, Ping, and Wox just trying to be wary. There is so much company in that area. It's very easy. Just one window edit for too long, you could easily be domed and taken down.
Uh-oh, 321 damage below the threshold. This is a two-time NA West champions. In Major 1, they won 6 out of 12 games, just dominating the region. But contested off spawn, it tends to do things to you, especially when the team is running away. But they're still hot on the hills. These are still the two teams rotating parallel to one another. But Baka, Pars, and Puff, they've now ran out of options. Their hand is being forced, and they have to go in because Storm Surge will activate, and every 7 seconds they will take 25 damage.
But the worst part still, Saad not actually in the same position. His team relatively healthy for their surge, at least for right now, Jacob. Pars, Baka, Pump, they're going to take a moment to pause, but now with these Storm ticks starting to break away at their shields, they're going to be forced to fight it. Baka already out of this battle. Pars shortly after, but now Saad, Snowy, Ryu, this is a huge come up. These guys just got a little loot bomber package delivered straight to their front door.
And I forgot to mention, if Storm Surge takes you down, you don't get knocked. You get straight eliminated back to the lobby, but I did see it in the feed. A couple of these guys kind of putting it all into the test as Cooper lands a great shot onto Valor. You see him dropping him down, trying to finish the fight. 1v3 situation, and he is just hitting haymaker after haymaker as he gets another knock in this situation. 319 above, Cooper with a 1v3.
That couldn't have been a better time to clutch things up, but Cooper's still gonna have to essentially play his life here. There are too many players that are going to prevent him from finding that breath of relief. 42 below even inside of that damage threshold for Surge. Jacob, it is so sad to see after what a phenomenal clutch he just pulled off, and with Wox, Malibuca, and Ping pressing behind him, that's going to be tough to actually survive. But Peterbot just continues to have to deal with playing the defensive here. Bold, Ritual, and Peterbot now looking to be on the move, but they're still just barely above this damage threshold. They're going to have to turn and fight eventually.
They're sitting on a teeter-totter right now when it comes to Storm Surge, and it's knocking them above, below, and it's essentially doing a little bit of mind games for a team like this. And you see his material count, 3 builds left. They almost have to go onto the next team they see, but it's Veno and his trio, it's Kanata and his trio. There's so many dangerous players all around. They're just happy that they're 73 above the damage threshold, waiting for the next zone, but they have to do something because everyone around them is being proactive. They see them out the weak team. Vigo, Veno, Flixie, they're targeting over. Pose goes down. That's Kanata stealing away that elimination. Veno's gonna clean that one up, so points go to Kanata's team, loot goes to Veno's.
EU on one side, Middle East on the other, and Ritual, the last man standing, but not for much longer, fully eliminated. That is a huge blow here in game one, but Vico, Veno, Flixie, now they might have drawn the attention of the lobby. They're gonna take a moment to pause, replenish their shields. Halad and Hero still doing what they can, but they're lingering just outside. They're gonna have to still try and push past Tayson's trio, and that's gonna be hard to tunnel through because Jacob, with the way that the zone is pulling over resistance, so much water, so much exposure, teams are just burning through materials.
Yeah, this one's going to get messy. There's one lone team. I think they're a duo on the other side of that island already. They don't have to worry about anything. Meanwhile, they have to make decisions here on this side of the zone. Do you stack up the beach coast as long as possible with different players, or do you try to make that daring play, try to get towards the center? Because who knows, if the zone goes south, that'll be a play that works out for you, but if it pulls north, if it pulls towards the east, that's when they're going to have some troubles.
Take a look at what's happening on height, though. Queasy, Merstache, and Swizzy. Can you think of anything different to ever take place in an endgame lobby, Jacob, than seeing Queasy immediately try to challenge and take height for himself? You can already tell the Gentlemates are going absolutely ballistic right now. Swizzy and Merstache just following through Queasy's commands here out of their IGL, but they've got the entire lobby in their sights. It's all about maintaining their positional control.
Oh, they actually found themselves 66 below, but you can see immediately with that minigun and some pre-edits, they're able to kind of take him down, grab that elimination. Loot and Storm Surge all being accumulated in a blink of an eye, kind of leaving Pixie and Marius by themselves. The good thing, though, is they're 568 damage above the threshold. The bad thing, though, their loadout, their material count, that one is not looking good. 5 bandages. Luckily, they don't have any HP missing yet, but they have a max pull all across the water to the other side of that island. It's not going to be easy for a single person in this game, but there goes Malabuka. Nice drop by the Hottie. He needs it, and he needs it now because he's barely above that damage threshold.
And that's the kind of refresh that Marius was hoping to find, but instead it's going to be all Malabuka. But no, he's going to actually be forced to keep charging forward. He doesn't even get a chance to try and collect that body loot off of Hottie. Fortunately, he still has a good amount of materials and just beaming a minute as he trails behind him. The Fizz Crash Pad combination just taking him so far, but when you're in this position, Jacob, as a solo over the water, you're just hoping out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, you just got to take it one step at a time. You can't get too ahead of yourself, especially if you hear action going down around you. You got to use that as a distraction, try to get out, but Marius finds himself in a tough spot. Well above the damage threshold, and another elimination on the eye drop, but he is by himself as a solo with a rotation to make. Now he's just getting ticked away little by little. Talad is able to finally take him down. That's a big confidence boost for a team like that.
Of course, but Height has had a couple of developments here. Striker and Kadu, we saw them posturing a little bit earlier on before that last rotate. This next pool is going to send everyone packing, though. Reason, Mr. Savage Chap definitely setting up, but Visual's actually going to be one of the first to try and move into the next position. Cisco, Kaido, Striker, though, right up above. Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts trying to see if they can be a threat. But if you're going to be in this height position, you've got to make sure that you are controlling, funneling players away from height, away from secondary height even. But with the crash pads in play, Jacob, that's going to be so difficult.
Yeah, you got to watch out, too. Chicho, Riz, Tayson, they're underneath. They're probably having their eye on the high ground. Cisco's trying to put good damage onto King Phaser, PH Sin, but it backfires on him, forcing him to retreat just a little bit. As Tayson's just building his way up, he knows he doesn't want to be stuck on that mess on the low ground. And even NA West in the elimination feed going crazy as Arkansas will take down King Phaser and PH Sin with a little help from Chap.
But Tayson's got such an excellent position in that secondary height layer now, shooting towards that front side of zone. It's only Clix and Iyamzo. They lost Higgs somewhere along the way. Iyamzo doing what he can to claim a little bit of space here next to Clix, but ideally, they're going to have to duke it out in the low ground, Jacob. They need a big refresh. They've got to keep that material count high, but Merstash, he's actually falling the mid-ground, getting a little bit too chaotic, and he just couldn't break through.
Yeah, Chicho's the one that gets the down, but Kadu's the one that steals away the elimination and getting a lot of loot for their efforts. Queasy trying to do the same thing. Steal whatever is left back from Merstash. And you're seeing there's a decent amount of loot. The Flowberry Fizz, probably the most important part of the entire loadout that he has in that inventory is Veno, Quixie, Vico. They're still down below. They're trying to claim space, and with a minigun, that's just going to be a little bit easier. But with no extra shield, Vico's got to play a little careful here not to take too much damage. Swizzy, Queasy, same thing, but they have multiple splashes. They got the slurp juice. They got the key to success in their inventory.
But they don't have the materials, so that's why Queasy just drops all the way down to ultimate low. They're hoping that they can pick up an elimination or two and then maybe look to try and challenge for a retake on height. They know how scuffed everybody's looking down here, but Vico finds that elimination onto Art. That's going to be a massive refresh here. Vico, though, getting beamed the moment that he tries to make a layer swap. He is immediately put down into the dirt. Clix fighting for his life, still in the low ground, but he just can't hang up. Ball's going to be the one to take him out.
Yeah, even though Clix went down, the damage has been felt for that team that he just took out 2 different players in a tough situation. That's Tayson, Chicho, they're trying to look up, but that minigun is just causing so many distractions. They have to focus on getting to the front side of the zone, but they're being persistent. Down goes high ground. This is their chance. They're looking up. Striker gets cracked. He gets knocked all together. Cisco's taking damage. He's going to fall as well. Chicho is absolutely insane. As him and Tayson, they go from the on-spawn battle against Brodoxy to high ground in the end game.
But they're still going to need materials. Chicho has 0 build left to his name. All of his material count dropped to Tayson. Swizzy still holding his own as well. Deep inside of these ultimate low ground layers, he's looking to try and maybe cut off Bolts in the process, but Kanata, Rapid, can the double will Revive actually be a success? And sure enough, it's a fully intact trio versus the sea of duos. Reason finds a big elimination onto Swizzy though, and Chap going to immediately drop back. Tayson still on the high ground. This is looking primed up for Tayson to bring it home.
That was a huge knock for both. They finished that elimination on the Reason. This is a 2v2v2, and the only team alive with all three is going to be Rapid, Kanata, and Bones. Ow, that's not my fault. I didn't curse them, but it is now just one less player that they have to worry about. Tayson trying to drop down low, but maybe a little too soon. Chicho as well. He gets shut down, and Kanata, Rapid, and Bones steal the game.
Max Nada strikes again, and this time it's for the victory royale. He's been saying how confident he's been feeling all week long, Jacob, and after that performance, I can't help but believe him.
Let's go, Kanada! You were telling Benji how confident you were going into this competition. You were telling me in the player lounge yesterday you felt like this was your year. Now you have the first victory royale, but you made it look simple.
I mean, to be honest, Rapid IGL like a goat right now. I'm just following. I'm the minigun in the whole lobby, and we just winning the game for free.
Winning the game for free. I don't think the other trio is going to let you have an easy ride in future.